Ladies and gentlemen, dear musicians, dreamers, midnight songwriters, bedroom producers, guitar heroes, and shower divas, let's talk a little bit. Let's talk a little bit calmly because today I'm going to say something that feels a little bit strange, but it's important in my opinion. The music industry as a career ladder, as a money machine, as a system that reliably turns talent into livelihood is over. It's not changing, it's not disrupted, it's not in trouble, it's over. And here's the strange part. This is not a tragedy, but rather a return to normal. Most of us grew up inside a fairy tale. You practice, you write songs, you hustle, you get discovered, you get signed, you sell records, you tour, and you live off music. That story feels ancient, like it must have always existed, but historically, it was a tiny blip. From roughly the 1950s to the early 2000s, about 50 years span, music was packaged, scarce, and hard to copy. Vinyl, cassettes, CDs, plastic circles of money. And because copying was hard, companies would charge a lot, which meant labels could gamble on artists, which meant musicians could get advances, which meant entire middle class careers existed. That era wasn't nature, it was a technological accident. It was a golden bubble. And bubbles always pop. Now let's gently, very, very gently, talk about streaming a little bit. Streaming feels like magic. It's all the music in the world, all the time, $10 a month. But here's the truth behind this curtain. You're paying less per song than any generation in history. And that means the money pool is tiny. Picture this. 1 million people buy a $10 album in 1995. That's $10 million. 1 million people streaming a song today, well, that might generate $3,000 or $4,000 split between the platform, the label, the distributor, the publisher, the songwriter, the artist. By the time it reaches the musician, it's just coffee money. It might be good coffee, but it's still coffee. So when someone says, bro, just get more streams, that's like telling someone, just drink a few more raindrops and you'll fill a swimming pool soon, which is technically possible, but functionally it sounds absurd. Every few years, hope returns. There's a new platform, there's an artist-first model, or the blockchain will fix it, or streaming will pay fairly soon. But fairness doesn't come to systems built on cheap abundance. When music became unlimited, its price collapsed. Not because CEOs are evil villains twirling mustaches, because supply went infinite. And when supply goes infinite, value drops. Waiting for streaming to pay like CD sales is like waiting for horses to come back as the main transportational system. It's beautiful, it might be romantic, but in reality it's not happening. Now here's when it gets slightly strange and uncomfortable, but we'll try to keep it calm. Platforms make money from subscriptions, advertisement, and engagement. They do not make money from your career succeeding. In fact, they make more money when music is cheap, creators are replaceable, content never runs out, which is why fake playlists exist, which is why streaming farms exist. AI-generated kids' songs run 24/7. Artists with no faces rack up billions at plays because background noise pays better than original art. A looping cartoon song can outperform a lifetime of songwriting. It's not because it's better, it's because toddlers do not skip. The system rewards repeatability, not depth. Consistency instead of soul. Quantity instead of craft. Again, this is not evil, there's no morality in this kind of stuff. It's just math. Here's the part that makes people laugh, and mostly because it's painfully true. If your goal is money, exposure, fame, then your odds are genuinely better on reality television, TikTok stunts, becoming a meme yourself, or doing something shocking in public. All of these are better than releasing original, beautiful music. A talented songwriter might reach 10,000 people in 5 years. Someone sleeping in a banana peel might reach 10 million in 5 minutes. Welcome to the attention economy, where talent is optional and virality is the king. And by the way, if you're enjoying this slightly depressing but hopefully comforting musical therapy session, hit subscribe button. Not because the algorithm demands it, but because it helps this conversation keep happening. And I genuinely love to hear your own thoughts on the subject in the comment section, especially if you disagree calmly, like civilized musicians, instead of angry drummers throwing cymbals at each other. All right, back to our regular scheduled existential crisis. Here is a kind of a beautiful twist if you think about it. So music was never meant to be a mass career pipeline. For most of human history, musicians played in churches. They played in taverns, in courts, in living rooms. They taught students, they performed locally, and they composed because they had to. The record industry briefly turned music into a lottery. And we grew up thinking that this lottery was the job, while it wasn't. It was just an anomaly, a beautiful one, but still an anomaly. You know something that's really powerful? The musicians who survive best today are not chasing streams. They're teaching, they're coaching, they're building small communities, they're playing live, they're creating real relationships with the audience. One student paying $30 a week is worth more than hundreds of thousands of streams. 10 loyal fans beat 1 million passive listeners, which is why, funny enough, learning an instrument deeply, sharing it, teaching it, mentoring it, is becoming more valuable than chasing viral fame. Skill is something that lasts, algorithms do not. So let's gently set something down. Not smash it, not burn it, just place it on the table. The dream that streaming will one day start paying artists properly is a dream. The dream that labels will suddenly become artists' first charities is a dream. The dream that more uploads equals more success is also a dream. Those dreams keep musicians stuck. They keep musicians waiting and hoping for something to happen, and they're just refreshing statistics. Those dreams make musicians feeling like failures for not beating up a broken system. You're not failing. The model has changed. The future of music looks a lot like the past. Smaller audiences, real connections, multiple income streams, teaching, performing, creating for meaning, not for millions of fans, but hundreds who care. Not viral hits, but sustainable lives. It's quieter, but I find it to be healthier. And strangely, it's much more human. So here we are. If the industry is not coming back, if streaming will not save us, if fame is mostly random, if fairness is nothing but a fantasy, then one final question remains, and it's the most important one. If money and exposure are not reliable rewards anymore, why does making music still matter at all? Well, the answer is easy. It's because it connects us, because it heals us, because it expresses those things that the words cannot, because people have made music longer than they've made money. And maybe, just maybe, that was always the point. I'd really love to hear your own thoughts. Do you think that the music industry is gone forever? Do you feel relieved by that thought, or scared, or strangely free? Drop a comment. Let's talk like musicians. And if you want more honest conversations like this, subscribe. No fake hype, no guru nonsense, just music, reality, and a little bit of humor. Because even if the industry is over, music isn't going anywhere.